Fine, yeah. So hello, hi everyone. So as I've introduced you till now, we will be talking and discussing around the few topics or in the today's talk, which will contain why should I go for PhD? Shall I go for masters or not? What are the different possibilities that I can go after undergrad, after postgraduate? Okay, shall I go abroad or not for my PhD or masters? Okay, so these are the few topics around which we will be discussing. Along with that, we will be finding seeing that what are the different best places in India to do internships or how to apply for a better PhD application, how to be how you can compete over others. So these are the few topics with which we will be discussing today. But before that, I would like to introduce you to us, who are we and why are we trying to conduct these sessions? What is the benefit of us in this? Okay. So, Nidula, is the screen visible? Can you please confirm?
Yeah,
Yeah, great.
yeah.
Yeah. So we are Techmedbuddy. So which means techno. Just give me a minute. Sorry. एक second. Yeah. Just give me a minute. Yeah, fine. So we are TechMedBuddy. So TechMedBuddy is basically a platform which we have initialized and started. So this is one of our startups. This is one of our startups where we are focusing on to work on different aspects. And the motto of this is that we are trying to build a platform which has the tendency to bridge the gap between academia, research, and the industry. Okay, and we believe in the thought that change is the only constant. So this is our thought of our startup, and this is the motto of us, that is we are trying to build the gap between academia, research, and industry. And to build this particular gap, we try to have on our stage few speakers across the world. We conducted few earlier events also, and today we have Dr. Nidula with us. Post a week, we'll be having another event where we'll be having another speaker from Switzerland on different topic. So, and these are the three different persons who work for us, and this is the hard work of these people only, because of which we are able to bring these type of events before you. Yeah. So she is Dr. Nidula here. So yeah, it will be really great when she will be introducing herself. But for a brief intro, she had completed her PhD from Italy, and currently she is placed as a postdoc researcher in US. Okay, and she is a proper wet lab scientist. So and she will be taking care of the today's complete talk. Along with that, it's me here, Alok, and I'm currently a PhD scholar in the Artificial Intelligence in Healthcare and Computational Biology Department at IIIT Delhi. So definitely, I'll be sharing my knowledge or my aspects what I have, and Dr. Nidula ma'am will be taking care of the session. Yeah. So this is a little bit about the introducing slide for today's talk. But before that, let me give you a little bit idea who we are. So I had explained you in the beginning slide that we are trying to build this particular gap, and how we are trying to build this gap basically is that we are trying to build a platform where we are trying to bring a lot of courses. We are providing a lot of courses which will prepare the students from the core biology background to move into the bioinformatics field, or who are this, or the students who are from the computer science and wants to come to the bioinformatics. We will be training those students in the field of biological sciences. So we are trying to build a platform of precision medicine basically. Okay, so this is our thought and motive with which we are working. Along with that, we are providing free of cost career counseling services, and we try to conduct free sessions where we are trying to call speakers who are the experts in their domains and who shares their knowledge, experiences of success and failures with you guys. and we are trying to build one of the India's biggest scientific community. Also along with this, we are working on the aspect that whosoever student will get some training from us will be able to provide internships to those students either with some research institutes or into some industries. So this is a little bit about us. Along with that, we are also working in the area of mental health related issues. So if any of you have yeah. So if any of you ever thinks that you need some type of counseling or personalized help or something like that, you feel free to reach us anytime. So there are few past events that we have conducted since May. So this was the first event, which was the launch event of us, where the theme was life as a biologist, where we had Dr. Swarnendra Singh, Dr. Vatika, and Vasudev Singh. Uh, these two people were from industry. He is from industry, and I was from academia. Then we conducted a second event of us, which was centered around the theme of mental health, and the talk was the dark side of competition and the depression, where we had on our stage Dr. Hemika Agarwal and Purnima Singh. Along with that, we also had Dr. Abhya Khatun, who shared their experiences and discussed about what is depression. And the recording of these sessions are available on our YouTube channel, so you can go and watch them those channel videos also. Yeah, this was the third event that we conducted last month only, where we had Pawan with us, who is working as a senior bioinformatics engineer at Elucidator, who gave a talk around the topic of TCGA and the role of TCGA in cancer research. Sharing a stage with me. So I basically give the idea about what is cancer and why to study cancer. And this was our last event that we conducted, where we had Dr. Kuvar Divijay Singh, Dr. Kuvar Divijay Narayan, who is a senior NGS expert at University of Illinois at Chicago, and he talked about the application of NGS in RNA and DNA in clinical sciences. And along with that, we gave the talk around how to analyze the data that comes from the NGS labs. So these are the few events that we have conducted till now, and along with that, we keep on launching courses where we are preparing you for these fields. So yeah, so I'm done from my side, and now I will hand over the session to Nidula ma'am, and ma'am, then you can like introduce and start the session. Thanks. Yeah, over to you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Alok. So I will be sharing my screen.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's visible,
I
ma'am.
think it's
Yeah,
visible, right?
yeah, sure.
Yeah. So good evening, everyone. I am Dr. Nidula Mullapilli from USA. Actually, I have joined as a postdoctoral researcher in Duke University. So to start about me, tell I will speak a little bit about me and then go to session. So I have graduated in integrated MSc Life Sciences from Central University of Tamil Nadu, Tiruvarur, uh, and I have done my PhD in biomolecular medicine from University of Verona, Italy. So I have completed my PhD in 3.5 years and graduated in 2021 September. And now I am actually a postdoctoral fellow at Duke University, North Carolina, USA. I have joined very recently, like around September 2022, and will be continuing here in Duke University for another 3 years. So basically, this is not a very strict section or something like that. You can feel free to ask questions. It's like more interactive for me. So I will be just generalizing today's topic, like what are the future prospects of research, like India and abroad. So we have many questions like why we should go to abroad for our PhD or masters or something like that, and why we focus on India itself. So if there are many students who wanted to study in India, but or wanted to go to abroad, but the thing is that they will be thinking, oh, I don't have money to go. How can I go? There are a lot of myth behind this. So generally, these are some graphs which shows that the US students applying abroad has the majority of STEM. So many people will be thinking, what is STEM, right? So STEM is like basically science, technology, engineering, and medicine. So these comes the STEM background. So as you can see, the majority of the students who is going abroad comes in the category of STEM. And later comes the business, social sciences, foreign languages, and fine arts. So this is a study from USA, and this study, which shows in the right side, shows that these many students are immigrants who are students applying from abroad. This is not a recent study. Actually, this happened in 2018, and as you can see, USA and Canada is one of the most acceptable for students. So as you can see, there is like around 2,11,703 students in USA who are immigrants. Probably there might be more. I don't know what category they have focused on this, and about half of this has Canada also. So another study which was done from India, which states that about 69,000 K or 73K and 64K students are moving abroad for studies in 2019. So this is basically from Andhra Pradesh, Punjab, and Maharashtra. So it states that many students wanted to go abroad for education, not only for masters or PhD, or it can be undergrads also. So generally, many people will have some questions like, how can I go? I don't have enough score to go to abroad. I don't have enough money, or financial situation is very bad. How can I pay for the college? And since I am an international student, do I have some negative feedbacks from universities? How can I survive there? These are many questions which is usually in our hand. So generally, we can. This is as I told you, this is a basic session. In the first session, I will be covering for students who want to go for masters, and later in the second session, I will be coming for PhD students. So this undergraduates who wanted to go for masters, generally there are multiple options and multiple colleges for doing masters. So what we can do is that we can select a country first of all, or if you prefer English speaking country or another European country, whichever you want, you can select. So basically it's like Europe, US, Canada, UK, and Australia are the main countries which students opt. This is from a survey. This is not from my opinion, but this is from a survey. And what are the pros of masters in abroad? This is one of the things everyone will be thinking. And in my opinion, these are just like various courses to choose and scholarship opportunities in many countries, working along with study visa programs, best education experiences, courses in English language, best culture to explore, travel to various places, get international exposure, added CV value. So this is generally the pros for masters in abroad. So how do we know that which country to choose? And it purely depends upon our choice. If you are strictly into a English speaking country, you can then go for US, Canada, or UK, or Australia. New Zealand also will be there, but it depends. And if you are into a cultural, like if you are acceptable into a cultural background, you can choose Europe. But there is always a problem that Europe has different languages speaking. So it will be very difficult in the beginning to get adjusted. So you have to keep in mind that these things depends upon our choice. It's not like USA is best for education. Of course, USA has many opportunities, but other countries has also opportunities. We have to look into opportunities, what we wanted to. So there are also a lot of scholarships for doing masters. What it covers actually is that it covers education expense plus grant for living expense, and sometimes it covers only education aid, that is tuition fees is covered, and in some other cases it covers all expenses, and in some other cases it's like free education or money for living. So, what it means, different kinds of scholarship. So there are some scholarships from India which gives like all expenses are covered, including the travel or including the living expense, housing, food, and something like this. Everything is covered in some scholarship. Some scholarship is like that. They cover only education aid where the tuition fees is waived. Another kind of scholarship is there where free education is provided, plus they will give some money for our living expense. So these are all the scholarship categories, and type of scholarships comes like institutional scholarship, public or government scholarship, private or non-government scholarship, and scholarship by Indian government. So these are the four categories where we can apply for the students to get scholarship, and how we can apply for this will be discussed in the coming session. So let me come to the institutional scholarship. So institutional scholarship are like mostly offered by the universities. Many universities have special scholarship for international students. So if you are letting them know that you are an international applying for the specific course, probably they can offer you some scholarship from their side. This is the institutional scholarship. And the other one is governmental scholarship. So I have listed few of the governmental scholarship and their respective countries here, like Fulbright Foreign Student Program, Hubert Humphrey Fellowship Program, British Chevening Scholarship, DAD Scholarship for Germany. This is very prominent in Germany. Eiffel Excellence Award for Paris, Swiss Government Excellence Program for Switzerland, Italian Government for Internationals. So these are all for doing masters. And these are just a few. There are many lots, but these are just the prominent ones which I have come across. And next category is for the non-governmental scholarship, like You Are Welcome Here Scholarship, Civil Society Leadership, Emily Bounty, Campus France, Shallow Scholarship. So these are actually non-governmental, means that they are provided by a private agency or private person, and they will be giving us grant as well as living expense, and tuition fee is waived. So this is generally for USA and Europe. And some of the scholarships from India as also mentioned, like National Overseas Scholarship, Fulbright Nehru Masters Fellowship, Fulbright Kalam Climate Fellowship, so Erasmus Mundus and Cornell University Tata Scholarship. So there are lots. Actually, these, why I have specified them here is because it's not limited. So it depends upon the subject we choose. And if you see the Fulbright Kalam Climate Fellowship, it is specifically given for students who is interested in environmental studies and climatic conditions. So who wanted to study about geography, nature, they are given these fellowships. So these fellowships are always not subjected to a single subject, which includes STEM, business, social, or history. So there are lots. Actually, we have to search for it. And we will be knowing that there are a lot of scholarship which we can apply. And where to find these master courses? So these are some of the portals where you can use to find where are the masters available, which are the masters program available, and how you can go for it, how you can apply, and all the details will be mentioned in this website. Now, coming into another session, which includes the research in India for PhD. So this part I am focusing for more PhD students. Now I will be more focusing on research in India, and next session will be like research in abroad. So basically, it's like what are the examinations we have to appear. This is generally for STEM, that is science, technology, engineering, and medicine. More focusing on STEM, like more focusing on science. So these are for the examinations you have to appear to do a PhD. CSIR, UGC, JRF examination, probably you might have heard a lot about this. Every day we will be hearing you have to attend CSIR, you have to attend JRF, you have to do DPT, and all those kinds. Coming into another exams like DBT, JRF, Prime Minister's Research Fellowship, FITM Ayush Research Fellowship Scheme, SARC Agriculture PhD Fellowship. So these are all variety of examinations you can attend depending on what is your subject. If you are into a science, I always ask you to write CSIR or DBT examination before you apply for a PhD in institutions. And these are all covered with a scholarship or fellowship. And these fellowship actually covers monthly stipend and HRA if available. Or if you prefer to choose a hostel facility, HRA is not available. Otherwise, HRA and monthly stipend is both they're covered in the scholarships. So these all examinations come with a fellowship and a certain amount of money, which is not bad in India. Now, next one is like internships in India. So what are the benefits of doing internship actually? So I have listed here some of them, and it shows that it will show how serious you are about your studies. You can plan your future accordingly. If you are into an internship, it will tell you that how much you want to pursue this subject for your future. So and it helps to gain more experience in workspace, allows you to work with professionals in the field, and it will be an added asset when you start looking for a job. So if you are into someone who is focusing only on science, and you want to do some internship, it is always an added advantage. And how it is helpful is that if you are into a wet lab means we will be working directly in laboratories and also in research labs. So in that case, you will have a hands-on experience if you have done an internship, especially in an industry or an institute or something like that. Even if it is a 2 months internship, it is like very advantageous for your applications. So these are some of the internship in India which offers like 2 or 3 months or summer internships, and some of them are actually paid. If you see IAS, INSA, NASI fellowship, and Tata Tiffer, BITS Pilani summer internship, IIT summer internship, these are all paid. Actually, it's not highly paid, but they are actually paid for almost like 15K or something like that. So it's for basic needs. Now, the next one is profile building. How can we go into a profile building during the internship phase, or like before preparing for your PhD? How can you build your career, or how can you build your profile? So basically it's like if you are into science, I am especially telling it's for science students, and it's like engaging to learn various lab techniques. So if you have completed some internship or something like that, you can always go get involved into learning various lab techniques. You can understand what is going on. You can learn hands-on training. You can get hands-on training. So there are a lot of industries also which provides these learning sessions. It can be 1 month or 2 months, and you can apply for that, and then you can understand the techniques. Strong academic credentials. If you are into if you are into a passion of doing PhD or something like that, you need to build your background. All the initial what you want to do is that for your PhD should be understood in a clear way. Another thing is that elaborate your research exposure. So this can be also attained by doing some internship. Score a high GRE or TOEFL. This is very limited for students who want to go for abroad, like USA or Australia or New Zealand or UK. So this is limited for students who want to go abroad. Strengthen your communication and writing skills. This is one of the important things wherever you want to go for your PhD or abroad studies. Improve your communication skills and talk to some professors, talk to some scientists, and understand what they are doing. This is what they mean here. Sharp your technical knowledge. This is what I have already told in learning various lab techniques. Get involved in publications. So many people will think that how a master student can get involved in publications. I know it's very difficult, but if you have undergone some internship or 1 year training or 6 months of training, something like that, probably you can have an possibility of getting involved in publications. You have to ask the professor that can I also be involved. This comes like an added advantage always. So these all things are required for profile building. once you are into this, and probably you can go for your next level of research or next level of career or something like that. Now, let me come to the point of research abroad. So, there are three possibilities. One is like do the master thesis abroad and continue for PhD. Another is like apply for research assistant or various internship offer and continue for PhD. And the possibility three is like direct application to PhD. How do we know that we are ready for PhD? Like we are ready for PhD, or how to start apply? So the main idea is like start early, apply early, and reach early. So this is the general motto, and the I will be discussing the possibility one, possibility two, and possibility three in the coming slides. So, how to do master thesis or research assistant abroad? There are three different options. The first one is like choose a subject which you are interested first of all, and where you want to do this, or where you want to do your master thesis, which country is your preference. So many people will be like telling I will be going to Europe, or I will be going to UK, I will be going to USA. So you can decide your country first of all, and then choose the subject which you are interested. So you have to go to each university website, visit the professor's page, and understand their different topics. Search for opportunities, and there are different portals for searching opportunities. And apply to a professor with updated CV and cover letter. This is the option one. So you can go for master thesis abroad and stay there in the same lab and then continue for PhD. This is the first option. Another option is like there are some openings for research assistants, which is directly posted on university website or in different portals. You can search for that. So if you have already completed your master's, or if you have already completed your bachelor's, you can be the research assistant there if you have experience, and probably they will look for experience. Many I have heard from many people that they need the correct experience for what they are looking for. So option two is like choose a subject which you are interested and choose a country to pursue research. We have to go to each university website and apply directly. These are like direct applications. And other one is like there are always opportunities listed in Indeed or LinkedIn or something like that. So there are three options even for master thesis or research abroad. This is not only the portals, but there are many. So if you want to know more, we can discuss in the later coming stage. So these are some of the websites which I have mentioned here for finding internships. So it's like Go Overseas, Erasmus Intern, the Intern Group, Europe Internship, Global Experience, Go Abroad Internship USA. So these are all for internship. This is not limited to science background, but there is a lot of opportunities for all the fields, including social sciences, history, everything. Now, coming into doctorate of philosophy, PhD. So this is like many people will be asking, what are the benefits of doing PhD abroad or PhD in India itself? If you are more passionate about science, or if you are more passionate about the subject, you can always go for doctorate of philosophy. It is called PhD. And some specifications which might be useful in my opinion is like choose university which has QS ranking less than 500 worldwide, even though PhD does not have any problem if the ranking is more than 500. But still, it will be always better to have a ranking which is less than 500 for the universal acceptance. And choose best research areas according to your interest. Look for publications of the professor or principal investigator. Choose the best place to do research and choose best locality to study. So, next is that future prospects of job opportunities after PhD. What can we do after PhD? So, this is just for the students in biology background. I am not so sure about other backgrounds. Basically, I am from a biology background, so I have mentioned what are the future prospects of job opportunities after PhD. So if you are unsure, what can I do after PhD? Here is something like in brief. It states that it can be research and development, R&D, basically called as R&D. So it can be in industries or in institutes. In industries, if you are going, you can be like companies like Biocon, Novartis, Indigene, Cipla, Thermo Fisher, Sigma. All these companies come with industries, but it is actually different, completely different from academic experience, and the work culture will be more different. So if you are going into an institute like CCMB, NCBS, IITs, Triple IT, or these kind of things, they have some offers like scientific officer or researcher. It can be senior scientist, scientific officer, and those areas. Another thing is that, so here in research and development, you will be purely working on a research area where you are interested, and you can have hands-on experience and everything like that. Next one is like academics, be a lecturer or professor in colleges or universities. Another one is academic researcher, where there is option of professor with research labs. Nowadays, in most of the institutes like NITs or IITs or IISE, if you are a professor, you are needed to have a lab also. You cannot be a individual assistant professor and stay without having lab experience. So this is a mandatory thing for good research, good institutes. And other is like postdoctoral positions, where you can apply for India and abroad, and allied fields. Allied fields is like basically industry oriented jobs, but the positions are not for R&D, or it's like the positions are not exactly focusing on research and development, but it is the back end jobs of these research and developments, which I have mentioned in allied fields. So what are the industrial jobs we can apply after PhD? So there are many jobs which are already there, but I have listed here some of them, which is like striking to me. They are consulting jobs, research jobs, R&D, which I have already mentioned, scientific writing or editor, it called journalism, scientific journalism, and global medical advisor or global scientific advisor, where we give the knowledge of science or what we have worked on to pass to an industry or to hospital people. And clinical researcher or clinical associate, biocurator, business management or marketing, teaching for various coaching centers like subject matter expert, it's called SME, industrial specialist, specialist in any technology or instrument, project manager, publication or grant manager, IPR manager. So there are many more to add. If you want to add some of these, you are feel free to add, and you can let me know what are the job opportunities after this. I am only aware of these kind of jobs. Next question is, what are the field of research areas for PhD in biology? So I have listed here some of them, which is very prominent or very known in the field. This is generally a vague idea of research areas. It can be again shortened down, like if you take plant, it's like plant physiology is there, plant stress studies is there, plant biotechnology is there. So there are many more to add, but these are very prominent nowadays. So it's like agriculture, human disease, genetics, epigenetics, biochemistry and structural biology, hematology, virology, biophysics, computational biology, neurobiology, and lots other stuffs. So if you see that there is also cancer biology, and in cancer biology itself, there are like people working on different cancers. Some will be working on breast cancer, some will be on prostate cancer. So this all actually comes under the field of research in biology. And if you are into a disease, if you want to learn more about disease of neuro disease, you can always go for neurobiology labs, where they will be focusing more on Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, or neuro diseases, something like that. And now I will be discussing more on the advantages and disadvantages of PhD in India. So advantages is like it can be regular or part-time. So in India, we have an option like it should be like regular or part-time, and good amount of money to live in India, proximity to home. So once, if you are like, okay, I want to go home, you can always have an option to go home whenever you want. That is one of the best advantage always in India. And low cost of living. Disadvantages comes is like less funding and no international exposure. So less funding, let me give you an example. So when I was actually working in I was working in CCMB for few months, and I have to wait for some chemicals to come or chemicals to reach to me for 2 months, and I have a period of 6 months in total, and I have lost actually a 2 months. So due to the less funding opportunity, we lose our time. That is one of the major disadvantage which I have faced. And if you are a PhD student in India and with always a less funding opportunity, there are less chances that there is international exposure. It's not always mandatory that we should have international exposure, but it's always an added advantage. So these are all the advantages and disadvantages which I have felt. And what are the benefits of studying abroad? These can be the pros. First of all, the PhD which we do abroad is recognized all over the world. It's like internationally accepted, and the less it can be less duration. So I am not specifically telling that it is like very short. Maybe compared to India's best institute, it can be less. Depends upon the place and university. So if you are into a US university, I am not sure that there is less duration, because usually here also it takes like 5 to 6 years of PhD. So if you are into Europe, it can be like 4 to 5 years. So this is the general duration of PhD, but it is not for everyone. So if you are not getting results or something like that, you wanted to do more and you wanted to complete PhD. So it is not a generalized statement, but this is what I have felt. And most places does not have coursework or less hectic. India, as you know, the first 6 months or first 1 year is dedicated for coursework. You have to go to different labs to understand what they are doing, do some examinations, complete some coursework. But if you are doing PhD in abroad, there are not many coursework you have to do. Just you have to attend some seminars and complete it. In Europe, it's not everywhere. This coursework is not done everywhere. And good salary is there, international exposure is there, travel exposure is there, easy to travel in European countries. Many activities to indulge, can do part-time job, making more employable, learn new language, global perspective plus international friends, beautiful experiences. So these are all the experiences which I have felt from my PhD in Italy. Uh, Apart from your PhD, it's also possible to do part-time jobs. So you can do other jobs like teaching or something during the weekends, or during the daytime itself you are able to work for the university. This is all applicable in Europe. Now, what are the cons or disadvantages of abroad study or doing PhD abroad? Teaching experience is always not there. So in some of the universities in Europe, that they does not provide teaching experience. So even if they ask for teaching experience, we are not able to. They are not able to provide us with any teaching experience, since they consider PhDs as students. And college fees will be there, not too much affordable in a monthly stipend. Most of the European universities, they need some college fees to be paid, and it's actually covered in the monthly stipend, but it's a good amount of money that will be going as a tuition fees. And missing Indian food and family, that is the one of the most disadvantages which I have felt. It's like we are far away from family and everything, so it's like a complete change for us, and we really miss Indian food and family.
Ma'am, one more thing to add here,
Yeah,
like
sure.
language also.
Yeah, of course. So Alok is telling that the language is also a major problem here. It can be for many people, because I was in Italy and I was facing actually great issues during my first year of PhD. I was not able to understand what other people speak in the lab, because of the language problem. So this is one of the disadvantages. But if you choose to be in Europe, USA or UK, Australia, New Zealand, there is no this problem, like the problem of language. Now I'll be shortening again the topic into PhD in USA and Canada. What are the advantages and disadvantages? As you know, many people wanted to go to USA and Canada. So specifically, I am talking about this here. And PhD in USA and Canada doesn't need a master's degree. They can be bachelor's degree also. So once you complete the bachelor's degree, and if you feel that you are good enough to go for PhD and you have good knowledge in the field, you can apply for that. And teaching experience will be there in USA and Canada. And tuition fees is really high and it can be waived, but there is still high amount of fees you have to give for doing PhD, like a college fees. And what is the disadvantages of PhD in USA and Canada is like time concern is the one of the main thing. It actually happens like around 5 to 6 years minimum, and high tuition fees or college fees, examinations to appear, which is mandatory prior. Like literally, it's like if you don't pass the examination, you are not eligible for continuing your PhD. And coursework, I have heard from many colleagues that the coursework here in USA is really hectic. Like the first year of the PhD program is completely disorganized and there are a lot of things to study. So it will be like really a student life, not a research life. And what we needed to know for applying for PhD, we need a updated CV or it can be a small resume and cover letter which states interest, experience and research project. It should be of good standard and good quality with error proof, and it should be read many times to understand that there are no mistakes. Another thing is that score of IELTS, GRE and TOEFL and other examinations prior to start of applications. This is only applicable for English speaking countries like as I have mentioned, USA, Australia, Ireland and UK, Canada, New Zealand. SOP, which it is like statement of purpose. It is almost similar to cover letter, so there is no much need to describe it. Letter of recommendation, it is like make it ready. Before you start applying, you have to make sure that you have your letter of recommendations ready. And it's from it should be from one of your master professors, and they usually requires 2 or more. So make it ready before you go for it, and clear idea of interest to apply. So if you are a person with vague idea, you are just you want to go do for planned. I like planned studies, but I don't know what to do in PhD. So if this is a question, you have to sit and understand what is really your interest, because in planned biology itself, there are lots of subjects which is going. So if you are like a person, I like to learn about diseases, but you don't know what disease you have to focus, then it's time to sit and understand what you have to learn and what you have to understand, what is your subject of interest. And application procedure, it can be like you can mail to professors directly. This is the always preferred method for PhD applications. And the next method is like can be applied through university portal. And this university, there is a less chance that we get selected. It depends upon various reasons. It's not like very sure that we will be getting. And until and unless you are having a very good GRE or very good TOEFL score in the USA universities. So always the best preferred method is like mailing to a professor and understanding if there is a position. And once there is if he confirms that if there is a position available, you can go for the application process. So this is the generally preferred method. Now comes to the point where CV and resume, key points, what to really look for. And I have added some of the things which mentions like academic CV and industrial CV. And what we really look in academic CV is like first of all, the personal informations, which includes the mail ID and contact number, but the address is not always mandatory, and the country which you resides. Objectives, future work experiences, education, skills, skills, you have to make it understand that you whatever skills you have, you can list in that, make into a separate points. Like if you have technical skills, if you have laboratory skills, personal skills like communication skills, you can differentiate and write it down. And if you have any publications, you must list, and reference is a must. So if you are applying for a academic positions like PhD in a university or PhD positions, you should include your reference and publication list if you have any. But in industrial CV, it's not always mandatory that you should put your references and also your publications or your presentations and all these things. But others are all same. Now, this is the model of some CV which I really liked, and they are like very crisp and clear for me. So, if you are into a biology background and you are looking for a research assistant position, your resume should look like this. And research assistant resume sample, it has summary skills which mentions DNA plus RNA analysis, data entry, quality assurance, and all those skills. And experiences, education. These are all the things you need. Don't make it too long until and unless you have a list of publications to show. It can be maximum of 2 pages and minimum of 1 pages. You can cut short your CV to 1 page itself. So another example of CV which I really liked is it's here: experience, education, and references. So this, I assume that this is for a academic section. Now, how to write a CV, the basics. So the first thing I want to tell you is that keep the CV as short as you can. It can be 1 page, not less than 1 page. Make it to a 1 page and avoid cartoon figures and long sentences. This is the one of the thing which everyone should keep in mind. And people have suggested that ideally 2 pages, definitely no more than 3 are the good for length. And format is like always use a simple font which is not difficult to read, and 12 or 13 or 12 14 is the font size many people prefer. And the best thing is like the first part of the CV or the main things which you want to showcase should come in this part, or the 1/3 quarter of the page should have what you wanted to show up. So if you have your skills or if you are good in something, you have to show the page. You have to show your skills in the first side of which is catchable for the people who are reading. And it says that it should have contact details, profile, core skills, role or experiences, education and qualification, and interest. So these are all for the basics of how to write a CV. Now, the next thing which we want when we apply for a PhD position abroad is that a cover letter. So what does it have? Usually a 1-page report. It can be an extended version of your PhD. Don't exactly copy what you have mentioned, the same things in your CV. So it can be like extended version. As I have told, it's like an extended version. Use crisp, clear and elegant language of writing. The other thing is that each cover letter should be in the name of each individual. So if you are applying to a professor, you should keep the professor's name in the cover letter always. So this is a mandatory thing actually, and you have to keep in mind that it is for a professor, not for a group of people like hello professor, dear professor, and so on. And what it can contain is like paragraph 1, it should like basic introduction, who are you and what you do. Like you can write generally you have completed your masters and from this university in this year. And paragraph 2, it's like start with your recent education and what you have done in that. Specify if you have any projects done, add the skills learned and results obtained, add multiple projects, highlight only important ones. So if you have done some projects or if you are into some jobs before you apply for this position, you can mention what you have obtained in those experiences. And if you have multiple projects or multiple experience, which you want to showcase is that whichever is important to you, you can showcase. Or it's like which experiences match with the profile they need is what you want to show them always. And paragraph 3 is like what you wanted to do. It's like specify the research area, not too vague. If you are going for PhD, add details. So if you are applying for a PhD, they will be telling you what you wanted to work, or they will be advertising what is their requirements. So you have to understand how your skills match with those, and you will be telling that I have these experiences which will be matching with your profile, and I will be happy to attend this. In the last can be of contact details. This can be in the beginning also. So these are the general things what a cover letter should cover. Another thing is like fancy words you can include, can be administered, coordinated, created. These are many fancy words you can include in your cover letter, but they have lot of words like these. But keep in mind that don't mix up with lot of words. Like don't create a confusion between lot of words and the sentences for the people who are reading it. So keep it always simple, crisp and clear. This is what a cover letter should look like. And now I think it's time to end this session. So you can have questions to me. I can try answering them.
Yeah. Hello, hi guys. So yeah. So first of all, I would like to thank you, ma'am, for giving such a beautiful message in such a brief amount of time. So now, as we said that it will be a very interactive session. So we kept the time for 2 hours. So the message is clear from our side. But now we want you to interact, have your queries, and ask whatsoever you want to. Okay, and it will be really because a very small audience is there, so it will be really great. If you could switch on your cameras and first give a brief intro of yourself, and then ask your question or whatever you have, and I want all of you to give a brief intro, please. Yeah, so I will go alphabetically, and then we have Akhil here. Hey, hi Akhil. Yeah, Akhil, am I audible to you? Hey Akhil, are you there? Might be not audible to him. Then we have Ayushi here. Hello, hey, hi Ayushi. Am I audible to you? Hello. Nidula ma'am, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Okay, fine. Okay, I guess.
I don't know if the session was very clear and understanding.
No, definitely it
How
was
did
such
you?
a clear, crisp message. Ayushi, am I audible to you? Hello. Might be technical issue. Divya, are you there? Can't unmute someone else. Okay.
Maybe we can.
Hello, Divya, are you there? Am I audible? Okay, fine. Might be not. So yeah, fine. So
Hi,
mm,
I have a question.
yeah,
Yeah,
yes,
sure.
Akhil, go ahead, please.
Hi, I'm Upasana from UIC, University of Verona, Chicago. Wanted to have a question. I entered late. I entered at the end of the session. I wanted to join in for sure. I'm sure it would be a great presentation. I'm going to try to attend the next ones. I just wanted to have a heads up. Like, have you been contact with any kind of PhD students who have shifted from one institute to another? Like, do you have any kind of knowledge on that? Like, have you heard how is the process?
Um, are you actually talking basically from USA or different countries also?
Anything. I mean, I would love to know how do people, like, I have so many colleagues who do shift like that, two
Yeah,
years, 3 years from another university.
yeah,
And I
sure.
was curious if how is that a process?
So basically, when I was in Italy, I have faced a lot of people telling like their PhD life is not fruitful, or PhD life is not really what they need. Like they are not into situation. So they try to shift the universities, or they try to change the professors, and Probably it can be due to any personal issues or issues with the professors, or they are not merging into the lab or something like this. But I have personally felt or made some issues with some colleagues who have undergone this process, and they have told that probably once you are changing the institute, if the professor is not really happy that the student is going away from him, there are a lot of issues that it can happen. And one of them thing is that he will not give reference for the other professors. So this is one of the thing I have felt. And like, if until and unless the professor tell that okay, you can go, or I will give you recommendation, this is a worse situation where they will not be giving the recommendation for students. And this should not be the done, because once if a student is telling that I am not fit into this research institute, or I am not fit into this research area of interest, or I have several area of interest, some professors is like, no, you have to stay here and keep it like longing. But many, I have heard from many colleagues that they are not ready to give the recommendation. This is one of the worst scenarios I have heard. And other thing is that they have always a fear that I am losing a lot of years. Oh, I have lost, 3 years already working in this lab, and now I have to shift. So basically, I think that they have lost their interest. They will lose their interest gradually. Oh, I have lost many years. I have lost my knowledge there. It's not of no use. So this is generally what we hear from many colleagues who have shifted from jobs, and they are always afraid that if the situation is worse in the coming future also. So this is what I have felt.
Thank you so much. That was a great insight. Thanks a lot.
And one more point I would like to add here, like the same situation goes in India also.
Yeah.
Okay, in India, same.
Yeah,
Okay,
same definitely, because
that helps.
none of the guide will ever want to lose a PhD student of his if he has wasted more than a year upon him.
Oh,
Definitely.
okay.
Yeah. He will always offer you like you can leave the lab and go, but when you will
Mm-hmm.
ask for the like experience letter or say like please issue a recommendation letter to me, he will definitely say no, I can't. So that's the normal situation everywhere, I guess.
Then how do people change? Like, there's so many people who change.
uh, like in India, basically, like when people changes a lab and goes to another lab, like most probably they make a fresh start.
Oh, okay. So it's always a first
Yeah,
then.
definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I have so many friends of mine who disconnected, like stopped their PhD after completed 2 years, and then they joined few other lab at a few other institute, and they had to start from their coursework even. Like they had to complete their coursework and
Oh,
then continue the PhD.
But until and unless it's a worse scenario, like I had a colleague actually. So when I was working in CCMB for in Hyderabad, there was an issue that one of my PhD colleague mate was transferred from another lab because that earlier professor wanted to retire. And since this lab was working very close with that lab, she was ready to transfer him as a PhD student to another lab. And also if we have worse scenarios like professor is not well, professor does not take care of the lab anymore, or he's retiring, there is possibility that with the permission of professors they can transfer to
Yeah.
another institute or another lab which are in collaboration.
thank
Everything
you.
depends on the
Thank you.
PI,
That's
I guess, right? Everything depends on the PI.
Yeah.
PI.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Right. Again, thank you so much, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks,
Yeah.
Pashna, for
Great
your
insight.
wonderful question. Yeah. So, guys, like one more thing that I would like to add here, like which was missed by Nidula ma'am in the talk. But what I feel is that like one of the most like biggest disadvantage of pursuing a PhD from abroad is that like you lack a very good opportunity to build a great network in India. Because after completing your PhD, if you have to come back, like most probably, and 90% of the students come back to India. Like there are a lot of students who completes the like continue their future career abroad also. Like, but if you have to come back to India, then like so many times people struggle a lot in finding good job opportunities and other things, because you know that like in academia, like networking works a lot. And if you have to enter a government institute or something like that, then definitely like you know because it's Indian culture and system, so you have to have a very strong connections and networking. Then definitely you can build
Until
from
and
abroad.
unless,
Yeah, please.
yeah, continue.
Then definitely you can build from abroad also. Like I am sitting in India, but I have a lot of networks across like across the world. I have people from US. I know people from Italy. I know people from Switzerland, but every person is not the same. Okay, so definitely you can build networking from by staying in different country in India also, but you have to work on your networking skills a lot because
Yeah.
this is one of the most important skill set which is required right now.
Yeah, and actually, I am not a person, okay, I am not telling that I have a lot of connections, but still, I try to maintain my connections. I try to contact my professors who are already, who have taught me, who I have done with, who I have researched with. Or there are lot other opportunities like LinkedIn, one of the best platform you can connect and keep the connection strong until and unless you are sure that you will be working in India. No, working in abroad. If you are planning to come to India, make sure that you have this good connection, and it can be through anything actually.
Yeah, and I mean like LinkedIn is one of the best like platform right now because trust me on this. Like this particular Techmedbuddy like that which we are launching, and like right now we are having Nidula ma'am also. Like I know her personally for the last Feb month if I'm not wrong, right ma'am?
Yeah.
Like when I launched a course called ML to Bio, she registered for that via LinkedIn only, right? Yeah,
Yeah, actually I registered, but I could not attend due to
yeah,
some
right.
personal issues and
Uh,
everything.
Definitely. But so LinkedIn gives you a great platform to build networking across the world. And like when we had conducted the first launch event of us, like where the theme was like life as a biologist, there like Dr. Swarnendra Singh was there, who was a senior scientist in Thermo Fisher. He gave a talk around this topic only, that how to build networking in science. Okay, so and that's why like it is a great platform right now also to you, that you can build connections, like you can connect with Nidula ma'am, you can connect with me, you can connect with Upasana, or you can connect with each other, like whosoever person is sitting in the meet right now. So you should try always to like make a good connections. So this is the connection which is going to help you a lot in your coming future. You can't do everything, so you should start building your connections. Okay, and that's why I am literally requesting you to give a brief intro of all of you and have your queries if you have any, please, because we should also know like who is the audience sitting in front of us. Am I right, ma'am?
Yeah, sure.
Definitely.
And Kriti has actually asked, do you have any tips or information on bioinformatics that you would like to share? I am not a bioinformatics person, but I strongly suggest that bioinformatics is upcoming growing field, and it's applied everywhere. Like every field of research or every field of biological research, you can see bioinformatics booming up. So the primary aspects of bioinformatics, they are not very difficult to learn, as every researcher will be learning in their life normal bioinformatic things. But coming into strong details, maybe Alok can answer the better
Yeah.
way. Yeah.
Yeah, I can try. Like, okay. So thanks to for asking this question. Like, first of all, you should try to understand like 21st century is the century for precision medicine. It is fixed. Okay, because each every lab around the world is trying to make a shift towards precision medicine concept. And when we talk about the precision medicine is basically your personalized medicine, which works on the concept that every person genomes works in a different manner, and we should design and give the therapeutics according to their genomes. And when we talk about like give our treatment and therapeutics according to the genome, we need to analyze the genome in a very short span of time. And when we say that like we have to analyze the genome in a very short span of time, you need to have very great thorough understanding of bioinformatics. Okay, and when we talk about bioinformatics, we need to have very good solid understanding of mathematical skill sets, statistical background, and definitely biology at the end. Like because if somebody asks me like being a bioinformatician, what should be my strongest point, then I will highly recommend and say that statistics. Statistics should be your strongest point, then biology, because biology आपको आती होगी. अगर आप if you are a mathematician, then you will know biology, it is confirmed. But you will know statistics, it is never. Okay, so you should always keep on, because if you are going to be a beginner in the field of mathematics, so you should start working in the area of programming first of all, because you should have very solid understanding of programming languages. And you should, because you are from biologist, so you can start with the very easy languages which are R and Python. So you can make a start with these particular programming languages. You should start building your skill sets in mathematics at +2 and +3 level. +3 means basically your graduation level mathematics. Okay, and then you should have a good understanding of statistics. You must be knowing biology. This I can say without having a conversation with you. If you are pursuing a master's in biotechnology, it is confirmed that you know biology. Okay, so you should start working on your mathematics, statistics, programming, and at the end, but not the last, data science concepts. Because mathematics is nothing but simply the science of data in the field of biology. Okay, so you should work in learning the concepts of data science, because earlier, like definition of mathematics was different, but now with the evolution and the coming trend of the data science, the meaning is changing, and every lab in the area of mathematics is making use of these data science concepts at a very high speed. So you should work and start make like as ma'am said that if you will start early, you will learn early, and then you will proceed very early in your career. So you should start working in the area of data science first of all, and data science requires the understanding of programming, mathematics, and statistics. So that will make you a very great fit for any of the lab across the world. Let me tell you this thing frankly, if you know data science and biology, you will be a great fit across the world in any of the lab to work as a mathematician. This is confirmed. Even if you don't know biology that much, it will be okay. They will teach you biology. Because लोगों को biology आती है, people are looking for mathematics and statistics right now.
Can I add something,
Yes,
Alok?
sure, definitely.
Yeah, so as Alok told, bioinformatics you can apply for any lab in India or world or everywhere. But the thing is that not every lab practices bioinformatics, because some of them are like purely wet lab people, and they really depend on other labs for bioinformatics work, and they usually don't take a single bioinformatician into their lab until and unless they are really working on it, like they are really working into the bioinformatic aspects. So basically in my Italian lab also, or in my US lab also, we are undergoing some bioinformatics stuffs in day-to-day research life, but they never wanted to take a bioinformatician as a separate one. They always depend on other labs. We go to other labs and discuss our problems, because that lab will be completely based on bioinformatics. And if our lab has a bioinformatician, he will be completely working on a computer like stuff, and he will not be having any wet lab experience. So basically, I think the lab which focuses completely on wet lab, they don't prefer to take a bioinformatician as such. So basically, what I wanted to tell you is that learn wet lab experience also, and then bioinformatics also. This will be really helpful when you go for applications.
Definitely, like I would like to one point here again, like as ma'am said, like wet lab. So let me tell you, like I am a very fond person of wet lab. Okay, because I love wet lab. But now I'm a pure like computational biologist. So I don't. It has been like more than 4 years. I did a wet lab last time. Okay, so when we get the data to analyze and interpret from the labs, being a biologist, being a bioinformatician, majority of the time what happens is that we are not having the great understanding about the processing of the data, like how the data was formed, how the data was generated. If you don't have the understanding of the wet labs, and in order to analyze the data, it is always must that you should know each and everything about the data generation process, because when you will be applying a lot of concepts of data science which is known as normalization and other stuffs, you should know everything, that how the data was generated, because according to those conditions only you will be able to make some techniques upon the data. So it is always a great fit to have a good understanding of wet lab plus dry lab. Okay,
Yeah.
you can work definitely as a pure wet lab person also. You can work as a pure computational biologist also. But it is always great combination when you have the skill set of both wet plus dry.
Yeah.
कुछ जरूरी नहीं कि आप लाइक ड्राई भी कर रहे हो, आपको एक्सपेरिमेंट भी करने पड़ेंगे, बट आपको समझ होनी चाहिए कि डेटा मेरा आता कैसे है, डेटा बनता कैसे है. सो इट इज ऑलवेज गुड.
And Kriti, I will have a suggestion for you. So I don't know if she's here, but it's like if you are planning to do your bioinformatics PhD, always keep in mind that please read wet lab experiments or please understand what is the basic principle of wet lab experiments before you are really into bioinformatics. Since this data, as Alok told, the data always comes from what we do, and in my case, what I do is the lab work, and what we generate is the data, and the data is the one usually bioinformaticians use. So you have to understand what is wet lab also. Try to make your basement clear before anything, before if you are going for PhD also, you can try reading your biochemistry principles and generally your normal books, molecular biology books, and make your foundation stronger. So it will be really helpful for your bioinformatics career.
Nice. So we have one more question here in the chat.
Yeah.
It will be really great like if you could unmute and ask your questions in spite of writing in the text. Okay. So Praveen, would you like to ask your question or shall I speak it? Because then we'll have a understand like idea of you also, like who you are. Okay, Praveen. Praveen, are you there in the call?
So it's the question is like any information regarding the universities dealing with cell line development projects in USA for PhD. So obviously there are a lot of options. The thing is that you have to sit and understand which one you have to apply. So if you type generally in cell line development or something like that itself, in Google itself, you can have a possibility of many universities, but best way to get into a PhD or best way to get into a university is like go to each university, understand each professor what they are doing. So generally, if you have idea that this topic of research comes in cell biology, you can go to the cell biology department and search for the professors. This is the one of the general thing which normally every PhD students should do when they are applying. Actually, I have also applied like that. So for my PhD, also for my postdoc, also, if we are sure that we are going into USA, until and unless there is an offer from university, until and unless we apply, we know a certain professor by reading some publications and all. So you can do that. Another thing is that read publications, understand what the professor is doing, then you can write to that professor directly. This is one of the other method which you can do. But for this, you have to read lots of papers and understand the professor is from which lab or which university or USA. I don't know if you tell just like cell line development, will it be available in Google? But you can search for some keywords like cell line development or cell lines, mice models, and so on. And then you can put them in Google, and then you can maybe try to understand if there are some labs.
Okay, fine. Yeah, thanks, Pastor, for joining. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, guys, if any of you have any question, you feel free to ask. Okay.
Yeah.
Priya, do you have any questions?
Yeah, hi sir.
Hi,
ma'am.
Krishna. Go ahead.
Krishna Kumar. I'm actually doing my final year PG bioinformatics degree at Bharadas University here in Tamil Nadu.
Okay.
So, ma'am, I have a question for you. As you have said, you have worked in CCMB Hyderabad, then at Italy, and now we are doing your postdoc at USA. So, what is the difference that you have seen at the people there? How they work? What's the general difference? How they prepare for something for their research work and stuff like that, ma'am.
So, do you want me to compare between Italy and USA or India and Italy? What is your level of?
India, ma'am. India and Italy. Yeah, with India generally. Yeah.
So what I have generally felt is that I don't want to lower grade any Indian people or Indian researchers or something like that. But when I was working in CCMB, actually the work was very going very slow for me because people tend to be more lazy compared to other place. I don't know why. It's not the case of everyone, but generally what I have felt in CCMB is like um, they come but they have a lot of other distractions talking lots of other things, but if you focus really on Europe or something like that, they have a fixed time of PhD time. So when I was doing, I was sure that I have to complete my PhD in 4 years. And with this idea, people are like, they rigorously work like 9 to 5 job, even they consider it's like 9 to 5 job. They don't have much distractions and everything. Probably this is the reason, one of the reason, maybe it makes the PhD life much more faster in European countries where they finish much faster. And India, the distractions can be anything. Probably we have to work for the professor, probably we have to do some other activities of the professor and a lot of other stuff. So this can be in general. I don't want to downgrade any Indian universities or anything, because I have come up from there and I really like CCMB. I really love CCMB. CCMB was one of the best institutes in India for me. But I can tell that there are many distractions. And one of the main other reason is that there is this less funding availability, and people have to wait for literary chemicals for 2 months. In my personal experience, I had to wait for a single chemical from a company for 2 months. And that's one of the reason that PhD is becoming much more longer. So in Italy, I have never felt this issue where when we order the chemical, it's like available in 1 week maximum. So until and unless it's a very precious chemical that takes years to synthesize. So other than that, these chemicals comes fast. So this is one of the other things. And compared to Italy, USA life is much more faster and they want results very soon. So even Italians are very slow compared to US people. So probably that's why more productivity in from USA. Probably these are the reasons I can tell. Alok, do you want to add something for this?
No, like these are hard but the truth.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Welcome. So I have a question here, like Priyanka have asked. I want to know
Yeah.
about various normalization standardization techniques for data processing or any statistical analysis. So okay, so Priyanka, that this is not the right platform to answer this question, because like this question requires a lot of time first of all.
Yeah.
But yeah, like if you have asked, like let me answer your, try to answer it. Like for data, like standardization, normalization are different things. Okay, but if I will just name a few methods, then for standardization you can make use of Z-score. Like you can standardize the data, and standardized means basically like you are going to make the mean zero and standard deviation of one. So this is known as the standard normal distribution, standardizing the data. Then you can like perform normalization of the data, like min-max scaling, or you can perform quantile normalization. Okay, and a lot of other different techniques are also there for normalization. Then a lot of people also says that like we perform log 2 normalization, but log 2 normalization is not a normalization, that is basically a transformation technique. Okay, so all these are like statistically different concepts, like standardization, normalization, transformations, but these are the different concepts. Like min-max scaling, you can bring the data into the range of 0 to 1, or you can perform standardization, or you can perform quantile normalization, or different other stuffs. Okay, if you want to know in detail about all these things, you can like write a mail or contact me in the WhatsApp. I'll be more than happy to help you out. Okay, Priyanka. Yeah, thanks. Great. Yeah, so guys, anyone else? Okay, don't feel that I regret the Indian news. No, definitely, like it's the truth. Like nobody can disagree from this point. Okay. Let me tell, like okay, fine. So I would like to add one point here, because आपने इतनी सारी बुराई की तो मैं एक अच्छाई कर देता हूँ. ठीक है. So they like the place from where I am doing my PhD, like Triple IT Delhi. So it's a little different place. It's a little different place because I have the experience of DU also, University of Delhi, from where I did my graduation. I have the experience of getting masters from JNU also, and then I am at Triple IT Delhi. So, like a lot of change is now taking place in Indian system of education also right now. Okay, and definitely not everything is not going to happen in a night, but if I give the example of Triple IT Delhi, it's a pure like professional environment. It's a pure professional environment where you have to just come, work for the day, and go. You don't
Yeah.
have to take anything from your professor, PI or anything. आप आओ काम करो और जाओ.
Yeah, I think it purely depends upon
Place.
the triplities,
Yeah.
because they have brought up something like it's a professional environment.
Yeah.
But I think we cannot accept this for every
No,
universities
definitely
or institutes in India.
they definitely like because if you talk about DU, University of Delhi, it's happening there.
Yeah.
It's happening there. If you talk about JNU, a lot of professors like अपने स्टूडेंट्स को अपने घर का काम कराते हैं. This is the reality. This is the reality
Yeah.
which nobody can. And definitely like funding is one of the greatest issue right now in India. Like they were like
Yeah.
you will clear your CSAR, NET, GRF, DBT, GRF or a lot of different entrance examinations like ICMR and other stuffs. बट आपको कितनी बार 6-6 महीने एक साल वेट करनी पड़ती है अपने फंड के लिए. So just try to
Yeah.
think like because you are in your like 20s, like being a PhD scholar, your age will be 23, 24, 25 approx. जब अपने starting phase में हो गए, and like without money surviving for 6 months, 7 months, 8 months is not possible. Everyone's
Yeah.
financial condition is not the same.
Yeah, I have never experienced even a single time where I don't have my salary in hand on the date. So this is one of the added advantage of being in Europe or wherever it is.
And I'm the totally the opposite here because I gets my salary on the before 5th of every month because it is triple IT.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it depends on the place also. Like, ठीक है?
it depends on the place.
Place, yes, ठीक है? Because and that's why it is always highly recommended that like, because if you are pursuing your PhD from triple I like TIFR, you will get your salary by the end of month it's fixed without any delay
Yeah.
because they have their complete funding in a with a good amount because funding plays a one of the most important role on
Yeah.
all these things.
Exactly.
Yeah, so always like whenever you are going to apply for a PhD, first of all try to look at the source of funding that it is having. Because if you are ignoring that point, it can like हो सकता है आपका गाइड बहुत अच्छा हो 30 मार्क खान कर रहा है अपनी फील्ड में बट अगर पैसा नहीं है तो सब बेकार है बिकॉज एट द एंड मनी मैटर्स. ठीक है अगर मनी नहीं है तो फिर आपकी सारा इंटरेस्ट जाएगा टाइम जाएगा एनर्जी जाएगी एवरीथिंग गेट इन वेन. सो ऑलवेज ट्राई टू लुक एट द फंडिंग the environment of the lab that you're going to join, the environment of the campus that you're going to join. Okay, because ISC Bangalore is one of the best campus in India, but we get to hear a lot of cases of suicide every year.
Yeah.
So you have to like you should always try to think about all these possibilities and things like and then make a move towards PhD because doing a PhD is not an easy thing and it's not that tough also. It's all depend upon your interest just in the jail आप करने के चाहते हो लाइफ में क्यों करना चाहते हो. सो आई विल हाईली रिकमेंड लाइक बिकॉज मैम ने सारी चीज़ें बता दी कि लाइक ये करना है ये करना है ये करना है बट मैं ये बोलूँगा लाइक करने से पहले सोचो कि क्यों करना है. राइट मैम because
Yeah.
even after MSc you can get very good jobs, right? Like you will have to spend little bit time upon your like developing skills which are required in the industries because getting a
Yeah.
master from Indian University in the field of biology, I can guarantee you're not going to get a very good job in the market. This is the fixed.
Yeah, because lot of biologists are there and lot of job opportunities
Yeah.
are there, lot of competition are there. And let me tell you a truth, like I was literally searching for industrial opportunities after my PhD almost for 1.5 years. I did not even get a single position offered. And no, I got some positions, but they are not like very acceptable for me. So I have to reject it for some reasons. But people are there for every field. So we have to be more competitive, learn more skills, like more industrial skills, if you are focusing really on industries. Otherwise, you are going to black out actually.
Definitely. So because आपको industry, if you want to make money, ठीक है, then you will have to work upon yourself and get the skill sets in you which are required in the industries. Okay, that's why I always say like start networking, get in touch with people, get in touch with like people who works in industries in these domains and ask them what do you do, what are the skill set that you look for the people whom you interview and everything. That these are the things which you which will help you in the coming future. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm done from my side and ma'am is also done from her side. Like if any of
Yeah.
you have any questions, like please feel free to ask. Otherwise we can end the call in another 5 minutes.
Actually, I can share the my presentation with you
Yes, sure,
guys if you
definitely.
want. Yeah, so you can, if you can post them in YouTube,
Definitely,
or
ma'am.
if you
Definitely,
want.
I will post like I will post this recording over the YouTube, and I will basically like share the PPT in the in the group that we have for this particular Techmedbuddy. So there, all these guys will be able to get and access this particular PPTs. Okay.
And if you want, like I am available in LinkedIn as well. So if you want to write me in WhatsApp, you can write me as well. I can share you my contact details.
Sure.
Feel free to write to me. I can guide you in however possible way if you want. So, but keep in mind that I am in USA, so time difference makes a lot of difference in everything.
Definitely, definitely.
So if you
So
want, I can share you my email as well.
yeah, great. Okay, so you can have note on her number and contact her. And even if you want to contact her sometime and you are not able to contact her, you can contact me, and I will act as the bridge in between, and I will get you in touch with her. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So, thanks a lot, ma'am, for giving your time.
Thank you, Alok, for the time, and I hope for the next time we can have much more participants.
Definitely,
Uh,
definitely.
yeah,
Because it's the festival time, like I think it was the festival time, and one of the most
yeah, probably. I
biggest
also think the same.
and
Probably
one of
next
the
time we
biggest
can have more
yeah,
students.
and biggest problem is like time zone difference because अगर दिन में होता है session, a lot of participants would have been there. I can guarantee about
Yeah,
this.
sure, sure. Next time, probably we. I hope that we can have more participants and more questions also.
Sure, definitely. So if any of you
Thank
guys
you.
still have any question, you can ask. Otherwise, everything was explained so clearly. Thank you. Oh, Ekta is saying so. Thanks. Thanks, Ekta. It will be really great, Ekta, if you could introduce yourself. So the ma'am will have an idea about you.
Hi, I've done my bachelor's in biotechnology and now I'm planning to do master's. I'm confused in the subjects. I should go in the biotech field or I should change my subject because every university doesn't have that course here.
Yeah, it actually purely depends on what you have interest and what you wanted to do. Actually, the thing is that there are a lot of courses which have good opportunities. So it purely depends upon what is your interest. But go to universities and understand what are the mm, different subjects. Maybe there are subjects which we have never heard of. So, and there are a lot of opportunities. So the best thing is that go to universities which you prefer, go to their websites and understand what are their courses they are offering, and what they study in that is the main thing which you have to focus.
Definitely.
Thank
Because
you.
at the end, it's all your interest which you have to follow
Yeah.
in order to keep on going in your life. Yeah. So thanks, guys, for joining and giving your precious time. And thank you, ma'am. Take care.
Thank you, Alok. Bye.
Yeah.
See you.
Thank you. Bye bye, ma'am. Take care.